an intimacy artist. That means that I have used my own experiences through vulnerability, through trust, through self-expression, through performance, through storytelling to solidify truths and be able to create them from something that is invisible to something that is visible. I have created hundreds of transformational experiences, both one-on-one and in groups, to support people to understand a deeper reference point for what is possible in intimacy, in pleasure, and in expression. Half the people are walking around trying to find the restaurant, not knowing that there is an abundant feast out there for people to thrive in. Artists have always been the truth seekers. They have been the cultural shakers. They have been the rufflers of feathers of society. To be an artist means that you have to be connected to yourself. You have to explore the realms and the edges and the dimensions of what exists, and then be able to have the courage to put it on a platform. You have to risk to be bad at something. You have to risk failure. You have to risk being cringe AF to get what you think, what you believe out into society. And through doing that, I have the ability to give people permission to explore themselves too. Have you lost intimacy, self-intimacy, intimacy in relationships, or intimacy in life through over-giving? Now, firstly, what does it mean to overgive? Are you someone that invests more in other people's lives? Do you every time do something that someone asks? Not only that one thing, but several things. Do you feel people's pain or joy more than what they possibly do? When something happens to someone, do you feel that? Do you sometimes have confusion around feeling like someone else's process is your own? Are you extra affected by other things that happen outside of yourself? Do you feel like you give and give and give and then end up getting resentful because you get nothing in return? Do you know the needs of everyone else around you but find it really hard to give to yourself? If any of these things are resonating, chances are you are an overgiver. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's a beautiful thing to have a big heart. It's a beautiful thing to support those around you. It's a beautiful thing to know how to show up for the people in your life. When it turns into something that is not okay is when you start to abandon yourself. You self-abandon and you disregard your own needs for the needs of another. Okay? Now, it actually shows you that you have a really big heart. It shows you that you're very empathic. It shows you that you're a person of service, that you want to give, that you feel selfless, that you are equipped to bend over and show your capacity to be able to support those in need. Honoring you. And it's not sustainable to live this way. It is not sustainable to abandon the things that you need to do in your life to show up for another. And also, probably 9 times out of 10, either you've done more than that person has asked, or you've ended up losing because of the situation. Now, what does it mean to lose intimacy because of this? Now, intimacy has many meanings. Specifically, we're going to talk about self-intimacy. Now, self-intimacy is the ability to know ourselves. Intimacy requires vulnerability. It requires trust. It requires empathy. It requires closeness. It's the ability to see another and to be seen. And in this case, it is how deeply we can self-inquire. How deeply are we authentic? Can we communicate with ourselves? How deeply do we know the sensations and signals of our own body? Can we have healthy conversations and repair within ourselves? Do we know how to regulate? Do we know when we are dysregulated? Self-intimacy is literally the key to an abundant life. They say that people's key to happiness and love is measured by the relationships around them. And so doesn't it make sense to have and cultivate and tend to the most important relationship in our lives, which is ourselves? So it makes perfect sense that if you are feeling lonely, longing, have completely feel like you lost yourself in relationships, feel like you merge with another, feel like you don't even know what your favorite ice cream flavor is or what you want to wear each day, it's a sign that you need to become closer to your needs. Knowing your needs means knowing how to look after yourself. It means knowing how to show up for yourself, knowing how to care for yourself, knowing how to prevent yourself from going into overwhelm or prevent yourself going into that relationship that isn't going to serve you. Things are just going to keep getting chaotic in life, and the true antidote to all of this is to know yourself, to have your back so strongly that you are unfuckwithable. And when you are unfuckwithable, you are magnetic, and everything that you want comes to you. People just want to be around you. People are envious of you because you have something that they want. So, I know that you're keeping up with me. I know that there's a lot to take in. But what I want to share now is 5 ways in which you can come back to your self-intimacy if you've lost it as an overgiver. 1, practice saying no. It's really simple, though it's also very hard. So many things can come up when we practice saying no. We could feel guilty for doing that. We could feel selfish for doing that. We could feel like that person is not going to like us. And practicing saying no is really about practicing not being liked. We are breaking through the shoulds and the people pleaser and the nice girl program. So the next time that somebody asks you to do something, and of course you can practice very small, you can take a moment, really think to yourself, am I doing this for them or am I doing this for me? Am I going to dislike, despise, or resent them if I say yes? So practice saying no, even if it's through a text message, and even if you have to explain yourself in the beginning. Take the easiest step, the path of least resistance, to practice saying no. It will get easier. It will become normalized. You will realize how much energy you've been using saying yes all the time when you mean no. 2, strengthening your self-trust. So making little promises to yourself every single day so that you can reclaim what your yes feels like for you. So little things that are really attainable every single day that you can do that shows your body that you trust it, that you are someone that is reliable, that your nervous system, your body, your inner genius, your little girl inside can trust that when you say you're going to do something, you're going to do it. So this could be that you're going to go for a walk every day. This could be that you tell yourself that you're proud of yourself every day. This could be that you're just going to make your bed every day. Anything, something really easeful. Maybe writing in your journal every day. Something that you know that requires little effort, that you can do, that shows yourself that you're here. That shows yourself that you care about yourself, or that you start to care about yourself more than anyone outside of you. This is going to create a deeper pattern for your psyche. 3, practice some self-care. I bet if you thought about the closest people to you or the people that you know the best, you would be able to give me right now 10 ways in which you could look after them. So the trick is, what are 10 ways in which you can look after yourself? Turning the mirror onto you and actually asking yourself, what can I do for myself to look after myself today? How can I give all of the things that I give to those other people to myself? Maybe that's going out and booking yourself a massage. Maybe that's you massaging oil on your whole body. Maybe that's having a bath. Maybe that is just taking the time to be slow so that you can really inquire within or ask yourself, what is it that I need? Often we are so dysregulated and we suffer from so much internalized capitalism and so much time urgency that we don't even know what it is that we need to give to ourselves. And the more that we know how to give to ourselves, the more that we can feel healthy, that we can feel calm, that we won't get triggered, that we can know what choices to make and have clarity. 4, practice receiving. So you are obviously proving that you are really good at giving, that you default into giving. And if you're anyone like me, you actually receive pleasure from giving. You enjoy the service. You enjoy the validation and the praise from the other when you show up. And now there's nothing wrong with that. But when it's only going out, only going out, only going out, it doesn't have the internal feedback loop that is going to be self-sufficient, that's going to regenerate, that is going to allow you to give from an abundant, overflowing cup. You're just going to get depleted. You're just going to get burnt out. You're just going to get pissed off and mad at those people because you keep overstepping your own boundaries. So, practicing how to receive. If you're someone that is so good at giving, eventually you're going to be a badass boss at receiving. But the first step is practicing how to do that. So whether it's practicing receiving a compliment and just holding it and receiving it and not feeling like you have to give someone a compliment in return. It's about not feeling like everything needs to be transactional. Receiving something just because you are truly worthy of it. So, booking yourself in for something, asking someone to share what are your qualities, asking someone to make you a meal just because. These little ways of practicing receiving are going to show you that, yeah, maybe it might feel uncomfortable. It might feel strange. You might not feel worthy. You might not feel good enough. These are all really common experiences for people who are out of practice of receiving. But receiving is truly how we can go through the life that we want to live. Everything that we want, all the miracles, everything that is meant for you in the world is awaiting for you to actually just receive it. And I know you have a really big heart and it pours outwards, but can you actually receive the medicine that you are back at you? Well, that's a question for you. 5. This one is simply just to notice when you leave yourself. Notice when you're doing something for you, you're being creative or focused on your own simple pleasures or tasks, and then all of a sudden someone else comes into your mind and you have this deep urgency that you need to contact them or offer something to them or leave and go and show them attention. This one sounds really simple, but a lot of reclaiming yourself from the overgiver and strengthening your sense of self is actually noticing how often you leave yourself to satisfy the needs of another. And actually, when you do notice this, it is a deeper yearning for you to actually just reflect that moment to a moment where you need to give to yourself. So simply just noticing and even recording how often you want to do something for another is a really powerful way to realize how deep this is inside of you, how deep this overgiver lives. And of course it's deep because it's a part of those who were conditioned and raised and socialized as women to abandon yourself for another, to be in service to men and family and society. And all of those things are really beautiful, except if they are not in balance, except if they are hindering your own sense of self, making you sick, making you feel tired, making you feel fatigued and tired, making you bitter, and keeping you away from your authentic voice and your authentic expression. Because at the end of the day, when people are on their deathbed or in regretting what it is that they wanted to live in their lives, it was that they didn't do the things that they wanted to do, that they didn't live the life that they wanted to live, that they followed what they should do to keep everyone else happy, to regulate everyone else, to control everyone else, to make everyone else feel okay and not feel sadness. And again, that's beautiful, except for when it's not. You have to practice not being liked. You have to practice giving to yourself. You have to practice breaking the chain, breaking this belief system that so many other people suffer. This fear that if you don't look after everyone else, you won't be loved or you won't be liked. But you're already not loved. You already have a fear of intimacy. You already have toxic cycles of relationships that you can't hold together. And that is because you are not prioritizing the deepest, most powerful, most spectacular, most magnetic relationship of all. And that is the one with your goddamn fine, sexy self. So this is no small journey. I'm going to give it to you straight. It's not a small journey. It's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel wrong. You're going to feel selfish. You're going to feel like a bitch. But actually, it's about these 1%ers that are going to start turning it around. And once you start those 1%ers, and maybe you'll lose friends and you'll close the door on some people, but it's going to open the door on so many others. These 1%ers are going to stack up over time. And before you know it, you're going to have a stronger core. Right now, your core is like a plastic pot plant that you get plants in. And it has those holes in the bottom. So when you pour water, it just leaks all out of the bottom. And so even though you think you're constantly topping yourself up, you've got no container. You've got no sense of self. You've got no strong rocks, no strong pillar, no backbone to be able to hold everything together. Nothing to hold your emotions, nothing to hold the chaos, nothing to regenerate yourself, to even give back to these people or give to yourself. It doesn't stay, it doesn't stick. And so your job is to have an unwavering commitment to solidifying that core, to creating the strongest abs, the strongest container, a chalice to hold your deep, potent, magnetic, ocean-like energy. And the more that you can hold that, the more that you can trust life. And when you trust life, you trust yourself, which means all of the things that you want come to you. You realize your worth. You shift your belief systems. You are able to have what I know you want more than anything in the world, and that is love. Love for yourself, and love with another, and love with life. Being intimate with life, being romantic with life, finding the small pleasures everywhere is what existence is about. It's about being alive. And so this is your challenge. If these things resonate, please like, subscribe, and comment on my channel if this feels like you. If you have the opportunity to trial some of these pointers, then let me know how you go. And until next time, baby, love you.